All right, boys, about to hit the gym. It is Monday morning, absolutely locked in. The market's moving down, it's moving up every single day. We don't care. Wide ranges, printing every single day, although not too impressive at the moment. That's what we're going to talk about today. The money window is closing. The opportunity window is closing to get started in DeFi and actually make money. And right now, these low yields, how they're kind of unimpressive right now. This is showing you guys what the future looks like if you don't get started soon. Why are APRs dropping? Well, a couple things. Volume is getting lower. People are scared. Are we going to go to the 50s? Are we going to go to the 40s? People are scared. They're not overbuying. They're not overselling. No one really knows what to do. No one's really buying. And as someone that's selling crypto, little in your liquidity pools, you would become the exchange, you become Coinbase, Kraken, etc. You're selling crypto. When you have less buyers, you make more money. When you have less buyers, you make less money. It's as simple as that. So with all the fear, we're making less money. And then also, TVL is getting more concentrated. What does that mean? It means that because APRs are dropping, everyone's becoming very unsatisfied with making 30%, 40% on a wide range. So they're squeezing their liquidity pools into tighter liquidity bands. They're going 5% wide, 10% wide, maybe 15% wide. I have some guys that think 20% wide is a wide range. I would say, especially on a stablecoin pool, that is not nearly wide enough. But 20% wide, you'll start to get something like maybe you get back to 10% a month because you squeeze your ranges like that. So you squeeze your liquidity into a tighter band and then you get back to 10% a month. But the problem is that then you're not going to get any appreciation later. Or if we get a move to the downside, you're going to get knocked out of range ASAP. You're going to get almost 100% of that downside. You're going to get no long-term benefit from squeezing. So everyone's getting very bored right now and they start squeezing their ranges, and it's the worst thing that you could do for your portfolio. I'm still sitting very wide. My cash flow has dropped substantially, but I'm not making any changes. I'm not trying to chase as much money as possible today in my day-to-day portfolio, cash flowing like crazy, because I know these wide ranges that I have set that we're printing 10% a month, although they're doing like 3 to 4, maybe 5% a month right now, which is still, by the way, amazing. If you're making 30% a year, that is still an amazing yield you can make off crypto that you're already holding and you already want to own, or off gold that you're already holding, already want to own, whatever it may be, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. That's still a very good APR. But I understand the long-term game. I've seen this happen. I've seen the market crash. I've seen the market rip to the upside. And I know from experience, because I've made the mistakes, guys. I've made the mistakes that I don't want you to make of squeezing my ranges too tight. Long-term, when this thing comes back, especially for running your pools off borrowed capital like I teach. If you haven't watched Mastermind Day 2, watch that video on the channel here. I'll teach you all about lending and borrowing and how to invent new money and take that to open a new cash flow position. It's the best thing you can do for your portfolio. And then keep those ranges wide. Keep them up to somewhere where you'd want to take profit, because guys, trust me, when the market starts to move, everyone that was impatient, everyone that was trying to make more money today is going to be out of range so fast, whether that's up or down. And then us with our wide ranges, we become the only people that are still in range. No one has to rebalance or they pull out, and as they start to rebalance back on the new price action, our APRs will start to probably drop again, unless the market's going crazy and volumes are so high, it doesn't freaking matter. And that's where you get those crazy days like in, last February, I was in Mexico and my ETH USDC was doing like 500%. It was insane. Now, I was a little too tight back at the time as well. But it's all about learning and growing continually. And I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes I have. And what I mean about the window closing of opportunity for DeFi is that this shows us the future. Imagine if TVL catches up to volume, and this is what the new normal looks like one day. When these big equity companies, when BlackRock, these big investment companies come in and they're running DeFi. They're not going to care if they're making 30% when they have millions and billions of dollars in liquidity pools in TVL. If they're making 30% off that shit, they're making money. They're making crazy spreads on that. You best believe. So right now, this is showing us what that future looks like and how important it is to get started today. How your money today is so much more valuable than your money tomorrow, because you need to get started. Cash flow off your portfolio so you can build more long-term bags. You can build more long-term bags. So later on, when yields drop, or when yields drop like they do right now, and yields are at like 30%, you have more capital, so the capital is making you more money. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. Let me explain that a different way. If you have $100,000 in liquidity pools, things are going great, you're making 10% a month, that means you're making 10K a month, right? APRs drop, you're making 30% a year, that means you're making like 3K a month now, right? But if you've been playing the systems right, you've been growing your bags over time, you grow that 100K from 100K to 200K, when those yields drop to 30%, you're still making 6K a month. And when yields come back and you're making 10% a month again, you're making $20,000 a month. So right now we're just in this suffering time zone where it just kind of sucks right now. Yields are low, but it's showing you what the future looks like and why it's so much more important now to play things correctly so you can get the proper appreciation of your portfolio and actually make the most money long term. Because if you go too tight now, you're going to cut yourself short and you're going to miss out on the appreciation. And once you're out of range, you're going to miss out on the cash flow too. It's so important that you do get the best of both worlds and you play the long-term game that's going to make you the most money in the long run, not the most money today, not the most money that looks good on a little screenshot, on a little snapshot you can send to your friends, you know. That's not what's going to make you the most money. What's going to make you the most money is buying your core assets, borrowing against them, using that borrowed capital, USDC, USDT, whatever you're borrowing, right? 30, 40% LTV. Take that, throw that into new, what was that? Throw that into new LPs, liquidity pools, and cash flow off that. Set wide ranges up to your take profit zones. When you hit those, leave the market with that money. Rotate it over to gold, rotate it to stocks, lend it out as USDC, arbitrage that interest rate, pay off that debt, whatever it is for you. Have reasons to take profits, and then wait for this shit to happen again. Bitcoin from 125 down to 60. If you missed a lot of that, you're buying in at a 50% discount. Your altcoins, you're buying at like 4 times less, like Sui, right? It was at $4 or $5, now it's 80 cents. Imagine you sell all that at $4 to $5 because you had the proper ranges that are a nice exit signal for you to take your money out of the market for a little bit. And you're buying back at 80 cents. And you run that shit back to $5 again. That's insane money. So you bought it at $1, 10 grand. Run that shit to 50K, sell it, your pools are leaving range, you made a bunch of appreciation over there as well, you lend that out in USDC, make 10% a month, lend that out as USDC, you make 10% a year maybe, make 8% a year, whatever, while you're waiting for the dip, goes back down to 80 cents, you buy it again, and then you 5X that 50K, 250K. That's crazy. The opportunity out there is crazy, but you have to do the right things and set yourself up for success. And I don't want you to miss this window, okay? Because what's happening right now is the low yields are making people impatient and they're squeezing their ranges too tight. Or maybe they're going for super speculative plays because they really need to make that money back. Or maybe they're just so scared they're not even buying. You got to believe in that long-term game. Set yourself up for success. Buy quality assets that are going to win for sure over time. Borrow against them, monetize those assets, whether directly or indirectly. Set yourself up to win for sure and leave the game in profit, boys. And then rinse, repeat. And that's how you get fucking rich, boys. That's how you get freaking rich. About to hit the gym. I'm out of Pink Monster, so we're going with the Pink Celsius. My client Grant put me onto the Pink Monster game, and they're freaking phenomenal. This is almost twice the caffeine, so feeling the jitters, but letting the Corvette warm up here, and it should be warm now. So about to hit the gym, boys. It's been some beautiful weather the last couple of days. The Midwest is crazy. So it's like snow one day, tornado the next day, then it's 95, the roof is off, then it's cold again, and now it's back to like, it's 72 right now. So the top is off, gonna drive to the gym. Unfortunately, it is late day, so it's not very exciting. But we're gonna kill it anyways. Boys, if you wanna join the 10K Fast Track, get started as soon as possible. Cash flowing your portfolio, actually set it up to where you win for sure, and you make killer amounts of gains. When the market comes back, or even if we go sideways till October or longer, you're still printing cash every single day. Click that link down below, join my 10K Fast Track, and if not, YouTube says watch this video. See you, boys.